Streaming platforms now ingest over 150,000 new tracks every single day. A massive percentage of this volume is synthetic, achieving a level of acoustic fidelity that was computationally impossible just a few years ago. The conceptual start of this journey dates back to 1957. Systems like the Iliac I generated music using rigid, top-down mathematical programming. These early computers didn't create, they followed strict harmonic rules to arrange notes that human musicians then had to perform. For decades, artificial intelligence was limited to this symbolic era. Neural networks analyzed patterns to output MIDI data, essentially digital sheet music. While they could predict a melody, they still relied on external sound libraries to turn those instructions into actual audio. This diagram illustrates the shift to the waveform revolution. Instead of generating notes, modern models synthesize continuous audio waveforms directly. This allows the AI to capture the textures, microtiming, and acoustic resonance of a human vocalist without needing an external synthesizer. This jump in quality was made possible by a specific training methodology, the ingestion of tens of millions of copyrighted recordings. These developers analyzed this massive dataset without authorization, extracting the stylistic signatures of the entire global music catalog. By achieving this level of acoustic realism, the technology collided with the global music rights infrastructure. The ability to perfectly replicate recorded sound turned a technological breakthrough into an immediate threat to established recording revenues. Throughout 2024, AI companies defended their training methods as fair use. They argued the process was transformative, but a series of conflicting 2025 court rulings shattered that defense. Judges determined that commercial AI training, which competes directly with copyright owners, does not qualify for protection. Facing statutory damages of $150,000 per song from the RIAA, the industry split. To avoid potential multi-billion-dollar judgments, platforms like Udio and Suno entered into settlements with Universal and Warner Music, agreeing to transition their models toward entirely licensed, authorized catalogs. While major labels secured new revenue through these settlements, human session players were left out. The American Federation of Musicians filed a federal lawsuit against the labels, arguing that licensing back catalogs for AI training constitutes a new commercial use that requires payment and credit for the original performers. Geopolitical regulation added a second front to the conflict. The EU Artificial Intelligence Act set a strict enforcement deadline for August 2026, imposing new legal requirements on any platform generating synthetic audio within the Union. Under Article 50, providers must ensure their outputs are machine-readable and technically detectable through forensic watermarking. Furthermore, platforms are now legally obligated to publish standardized summaries of the data used to train their models. With administrative fines reaching up to 15 million euros, generative platforms must prioritize transparency mandates over unconstrained innovation to remain operational globally. This regulatory environment has changed the competitive landscape. Because raw audio generation is now a standard baseline capability, the top platforms differentiate themselves through their licensing frameworks and how they integrate into professional production workflows. Suno maintains its lead by focusing on verified voice cloning, allowing users to map their own singing voice onto tracks after a strict identity check. Meanwhile, Udio has moved towards a walled garden approach, offering high-fidelity editing tools while restricting commercial rights to satisfy its settlement terms. For corporate clients, Stability AI's Stable Audio 3.0 offers a different path. Trained on a 100% licensed dataset from providers like AudioSparks, this methodology allows full legal indemnification. Expanding further, Google Lyria 3 allows exact timestamp directions for precise structural control. To meet EU standards, Google embeds an invisible Synth ID watermark into every track to ensure long-term detectability. MusicGPT targets the creator economy by eliminating commercial ambiguity. It offers royalty-free licensing across all tiers, and because its outputs aren't registered with YouTube's Content ID system, as a result, YouTubers and game developers can confidently use the generated tracks in their videos without the constant risk of automated copyright strikes. In this regulated ecosystem, a platform's legal framework is a more significant asset than its raw acoustic fidelity. Accessibility and copyright compliance have become the primary metrics for commercial viability. The current legal reality is clear. Tracks generated entirely from an AI prompt lack human authorship and cannot be copyrighted. This has forced professional producers to change how they use the technology to ensure they can legally own their work. To create a protectable hybrid release, producers use AI to generate stems, isolated elements like a drum loop or a vocal texture. They then import these into a traditional digital audio workstation, layering them with human instrumentation and bespoke mixing to establish the human creative input required for copyright. We are also entering the era of voices as a service. Major artists are beginning to license verified digital clones of their voices for a fee. This transforms an artist's voice into a scalable software instrument, allowing independent producers to feature a global star on their track, while the artist collects algorithmic royalties. This technological maturity creates a paradox. By removing the technical barriers to music production, the value of a perfectly polished sound has effectively vanished. When the supply of high-fidelity music is limitless, acoustic quality is no longer a differentiator for success. This abundance is met with a simultaneous resurgence in physical media. Many listeners are gravitating toward the tactile experience of vinyl and the historical context of a physical album, as a contrast to the frictionless, algorithm-driven scroll of synthetic content. High-fidelity sound is no longer a scarce resource. In this environment, the only remaining premium is human context, the narrative and community that machines can simulate but never truly experience. The value in the music industry has shifted from the mechanical act of production to the human ability to curate and connect.
Praxiotech Research.